Welcome back to the weekly sportscast with your hosts, Jake Gould and Brandon Skinner. Today's episode, we're going to give our initial thoughts and impressions after a full day of Jaguars training camp that we were in attendance at.
This week's episode is sponsored by Justin Blackman's parole officer. Let's get into it.
Say hello to Mr. Slept On. Early mornings, I ain't slept long. Big headed, so I'm headstrong. Had to be just to be headed to where I was going, like my head gone. They said I'm crazy, but I told them all that.
Well, we didn't get any autograph, but it was still a fun day nonetheless.
Yeah, I agree. It was hot, and I wore a black Bortles jersey, so that was nice, but my bucket hat was crucial. And, yeah, it was a good day. We got to see a lot of good things, especially we were right on the rope line where Josh Lambo and Logan Cook were punting and kicking, and that was just, oh my gosh, that was a sight for sore eyes.
Yeah.
I've missed football, man.
Josh Lambo got a cannon.
Josh Lambo got a cannon.
Fourth-string quarterback.
Cook. Josh Lambo is the fourth-string quarterback, we think. But so in this episode, I think we're just going to go over some of our impressions and what we got out of this day of training camp for seeing it, just seeing them practice for 2 or 3 hours, and what our expectations for the season are. So,
well, our expectations of the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, yeah, but
that's obvious.
Just how this training camp can have an effect on this season. So I think, first off, a guy that really stood out to me was, I think, T.J. Yeldon.
T.J. Yeldon looked great.
T.J. Yeldon in the 7-on-7 and 11-on-11 scrimmages, he looked really, really good. And
he was slim, he was fast, he was juking,
slim,
he was catching.
He was catching a lot of from all the quarterbacks, not just Blake Bortles, but he was catching from Tanner Lee and from Cody Kessler, and he looked very shifty and agile, and he looked like the second person of the 1-2 punch that Leonard Fournette needs. I think.
He's going to be a great backup running back.
A great backup running back. So a guy who we didn't really see much of today was Corey Grant, which was weird.
I don't even think it was there.
He might not even been there, but I didn't see him do anything, which is surprising because he's often regarded as Jaguar fans as like the best, most underrated player on the team.
He definitely is.
He played.
He has so much potential.
He played amazing in the AFC Championship game against the Patriots, but they didn't play him in the second half, so that was just weird. I don't know why they didn't do that. He got gassed or something, but he didn't really do anything, so he might not have been there, just like Jalen Ramsey wasn't there, but I don't know. Jalen Ramsey's doing his own thing with his dad, so I'm fine if he comes back in midseason form. So I don't really care.
Yeah, Jalen wasn't there, but Bouye looked great. He's like seems to already be in season form.
Mm-hmm.
Fournette, we all know he lost
he looked
10 to 15 pounds over the summer.
He was looking slim.
He was catching a lot of passes, which I'm excited about because that's the area of his game where he needs to improve. Tanner Lee was one player that really surprised both of us. He was making some really nice throws. For a 6th-round pick, he looked very confident and eased.
Granted, there was not much pressure. It was a clean pocket most of the time, and pressure changes everything.
The passes looked good, and the people who was going to come, and that's all that matters at this point.
Yeah, but a guy who he was throwing to that seemed to stand out again was Touchdown Tommy.
Tommy Bohannon.
Tommy Bohannon, the fullback. Jaguars are like one of the very few teams left in the NFL that utilize a fullback. So it kind of
that goes in line with Tom Coughlin's old
school ground and pound and rough them up thing. But Touchdown Tommy looked good. He was looking thick and strong, and he was catching. He caught 2 or 3 passes for
big gains.
Each of them were he did really well. And again, this is just practice, and it's not as fast as everything. He's playing against practice squad corners, but he looked good, and he was catching the passes that were hitting him, and which is exciting because he's a very underrated and overlooked weapon that the Jaguars have a lot of times. He showed it with that play against the Steelers in the last
touchdown.
The last postseason where he got that touchdown, that little trick play for him. So yeah, he's one of the better fullbacks in the league, I think. He might even be a Pro Bowler this year, who knows? But anybody else stand out for you, Jake?
Austin Seferian-Jenkins, the former Jet pickup, looked good. Taven Bryan looked really good. I heard good reports about him in OTAs this spring, and he just continued. He was really feasting on Andrew Norwell.
He was eating.
I don't really know to be happy or
sad
upset about
that.
Iron
iron sharpens iron. That's the thing. So
that's true. But Taven Bryan's looking really good for a rookie. He's going to be able to get in some of the late quarter snaps for Calais Campbell to help keep him fresh.
Yeah.
And really do some damage his rookie year, which I'm really excited about, considering he was a late first-round pick. Looks like he can make an immediate impact. Yeah,
definitely. He's looks to be one of the more ready players out there. He looked very, very good. They didn't really do any live drills with the defensive line, but they did like defensive line, like 1-on-1 O-line, D-line drills.
O-line versus D-line, yeah.
And he was looking good. I think he got blocked once, but he won the matchup like 6 or 7 times against the other offensive linemen, and so he looked very, very sharp. He was the only white guy on the D-line, but that's fine because he was balling.
Marquise Lee notably didn't practice at the game.
Yeah, that was weird.
The session we were at, I believe that he injured his hand earlier in the week, so that may be something to look at. Hopefully he doesn't get injured because he's supposed to be your number 1 wide receiver this year.
Yeah, I guess.
I also didn't see Dante Moncrief there. Do you know if he practiced?
I didn't see him do anything. I don't even know what number he is, but I didn't see a big old guy doing that. So, no, I didn't see Dante Moncrief, but I'm still excited for his thing. A receiver that I did see was D.D. Westbrook, and D.D. did not look super sharp today, I didn't think. There's 2 or 3 balls that Bortles put right on the money. One where D.D. did a longer route toward the right sideline, and Bortles floated it over the defender's head, and it fell right into D.D.'s hands, like a great throw over his head,
off his hands.
And he dropped it, like straight up. And another guy who did that was Rashad Green. Rashad Green has been plagued by injuries these last couple of seasons, but in his time as a Jaguar, he's been an effective slot receiver and an effective punt returner. So he's looking to make the roster this year, and he dropped a ball or two that was very, very catchable, which sucks. And he did not look super, super convincing, I think. Another receiver, Keelan Cole, he caught 1 ball, but he caught the 1 ball and then like juked the mess out of this one cornerback and turned it up the field for like a 15-yard gain, which was like really exciting because Keelan Cole had a breakout year last year out of Kentucky Wesleyan, and Jaguar fans, including myself and Jake, are excited about his future and his promise.
Yeah, he led the team in receiving yards last year, and there's nothing to say that he won't be able to do it again.
Yeah, he's a beast. If Marquise Lee stays unhealthy and stays inconsistent
and stays dropping passes
that could win us games, then Keelan Cole might move into the number 1 slot. My brother drafted him in fantasy, so I don't know what that means. But
I'll pick him up as a free agent in fantasy.
Free agent fantasy, if people get injured, I think I'll do that. I might even pick him up in my fantasy basketball league. Who knows? If I'm feeling free agent, baby.
Blake Bortles also looked good today.
Yeah, Blake looked really good.
He only had 1 pick in practice.
And they ran a lot of plays and a lot of different stuff. So 1 pick, it's really is like an only 1 pick interception thing. And it was a great play by the receiver. It was like the guy looked open and we were watching and he threw it overhead and the guy came like cut underneath off his receiver. And so, but in these 7-on-7 drills, there's a lot more to remember. There's 6 DBs out there, or there's 7 DBs out there playing in the 7-on-7 drills because there's like 7 receivers on 7 DBs. So there's a lot more guys that have ball skills and that are looking to intercept the ball out there than are going to be in a regular game. So
yeah, but as a whole, Blake looked good today.
Yeah, as a whole, he looked good. With no pressure and with no defense, he's a top 5 quarterback, confirmed. So, I mean, he looked... but if... Everyone always says don't buy into training camp, but if I'd rather my quarterback look good and not buy into it than look bad and have to be like, oh, it's just training camp.
Hey, the only reason Keelan Cole stayed on the team, it was because he had a good training camp.
And he had a good preseason. That was crucial.
Of course.
He took off in preseason. But it's just, last year, it was like the worst offseason ever for Blake Bortles. He was throwing 5 interceptions at practice, and he just looked terrible, but everyone was, oh, it's just training camp, whatever. And then he showed him this season that it was okay, but if it was it's nice to have him looking good as opposed to looking bad and still just, and kind of ignoring it. It's like, I'd rather have that, you know? So, yeah, that's good. Anyone else super surprising that looked good? I mean, we watched Logan Cook punt a bunch, and he was very accurate, but he was just punting, I mean.
Cook and Lambeau look good. I mean, that's something that's overlooked, but it's always very important, especially late in games when we want to kill the clock. Calais Campbell looked dominant as always. He's by far the biggest and best player on the field.
That was crazy. Calais Campbell's like 3 inches taller than everybody, and he's the biggest dude out there by far. It's weird.
Marcel Darius wasn't there because he's still going through legal issues, so hopefully he doesn't get suspended for more than like 2 games.
Yeah.
Because he was the big key in helping our run defense become average instead of bad after we traded for him last year.
Yeah, he was the thing that I think made our defense really turn the corner this past season. It was great beforehand, but its Achilles heel was the rush defense and his thick self, almost like a Vince Wilfork-esque player who can just stuff up the middle and absorb 2 or 3 blocks at one time to allow our other guys to make the play on the running back. But yeah, they look good. I think another thing, a talking point that I heard a lot of people saying just on the sidelines is that these practices under Tom Coughlin, Doug Marrone, they were always moving. They're on the scoreboard. They have like the timer, and they would spend like 15 minutes at each station doing like a certain rotation of drills. And it was like they were always doing something. There's only 2 water breaks that I saw, and there was almost no downtime in between drills. And during the old tenure of the head coach Gus Bradley, it was like a country club out there. It was like everyone's sitting around and enjoying the sun, and it was just not good for anybody, and that's why we barely won any games. And so now
there's a real culture in
Jacksonville. There's a culture change.
Yeah.
It's definitely. It's paying off right now. Tom Coughlin's out there, Doug Marone's out there, and it was a good practice to see. They were playing the music with the fake crowd noise, and they were doing their thing to try to get the team ready for that. So yeah, it was exciting. I'm excited for this thing. There's a great turnout out there. There was 2 bleachers full, and then the whole sideline basically was filled with people, and they had a VIP section that was shaded, and there was a lot of people there, and a great turnout. The culture is changing in Jacksonville for the better, I think.
It was great to see so many Duval fans come out and support the team.
Obviously, yes, exactly. We might have posted a picture on that on our Instagram at the Weekly Sportscast. So.
We might not have.
So if you want to find that out, you might want to go follow that and keep up to date with all the videos and all the sports world. You know how it is. So, yeah, that about wraps up our little training camp video.
Quick hit.
It's a quicker, shorter video that we've made, but yeah, it was very interesting and very fun. And so, yeah, thank you for listening, and we'll see y'all during the NFL season. How about that?
Like, subscribe, tell your mom, tell your
mom,
dad, and I cannot wait for football to be back.
Let's go, baby.
Duval till we die.